Turned over to the Citizens.
I thought I was doing the AIC.
Welcome back. Second game of this second block of 4 in the Midwest region, Queens College, number 2 seed. Fordham University, the number 7. A trip to the round of 16 on the line. And Chris, what is the scouting report for this one?
Charlie, I'm really excited for this game, especially excited to see Queens. We have not seen them in South Bend so far this year, but they're 12-2 on the season, number 8 in the Rugby Hawks standings, and their only losses come a little bit earlier in the season to a very good Clemson team who are in town. They actually just beat Purdue on the stadium field about an hour ago, and then another good team in Mary Washington. So, you know, the funny part is, Charlie, they've also beaten both of those teams they've lost to. This is a very good Queens side. I'm very excited to see them. And then as for Fordham, my uncle played for Fordham back in the day, back in the late 80s, early 90s, played for Fordham Rugby, was one of the smaller guys on the team, but scrappy guy. So excited for that, a little personal touch for me to be announced in Fordham.
And I have to say, I went to Fordham Prep High School.
Here we go.
On Fordham University's campus. So a little bit of connection for both of us here. But the Queens Knights, you mentioned it, when they're at their best, they are pretty tough to beat.
Yeah.
Their only losses coming to teams they not only beat, but especially in the case of Clemson, smoked.
Yeah, 36-0. And Charlie, as for Fordham, 8-6 on the year. They've beaten some good teams. Babson, who we're going to see a little later. I think next game, actually, they go against Wheeling. And then, of course, a very good Michigan team who are in town. They've also lost to Indiana 33-0, Dartmouth 24-0. So it's been an up and down year so far for the Rams based off of that. It'll be interesting to see how they compete against a very high-level opponent. It's going to be a test for them, and I'm excited to see what the Rams can do.
Yeah, it seems like based on the results of the game, the 14 games that you were talking about for the number 49 overall team in the country, comes down to their offense. When they don't score, they do not have any success. They have 2 shutout losses this spring. You mentioned one, Indiana and Dartmouth as well. And then the 2 other notable losses for them, they have 12 points combined in those 2. So when they don't score, they don't win. And when they do, they give themselves a real chance.
Yeah, definitely. And kick it back to Queens. Just some storylines going around and circulating around their program right now. Former head coach Frank McKinney had stepped down from his post in February of 2024 after winning a 2019 national championship, then, of course, in Division II. So now under Tyree Reed, who was their assistant under McKinney, and they've done very, very well under Reed. No signs of slowing down. Program only continues to elevate. This is a great chance for them now that they're in Boyd's to compete against some of the top teams in the country.
And we're finally underway after a little bit of a delay early on. Maybe a lane down the side, just staying in touch right next to us for Queens is Juan Boyd. Number 11 in purple. I have to say, not many schools don purple. I happen to like it very much. I don't know what we always love to talk about the jerseys. And I'm a fan of these Queens ones.
I am as well. I'm a big fan of the referee jerseys, though, Charlie. I think they're rocking the nice pink kits.
Yeah, we were able to be flies on the wall for the ref meeting this morning, and the refs were deciding whether to go with the pinks or the blues. Crews are choosing different colors. One's in front of us in the pink. So early scrum to Fordham after the knock-on. They get a defensive stop and then immediately turn it over. So not what you wanted to see if you're a fan of the Rams. You get to see Queens offense go back to work. Thomas Mussey right down the gut trying to stiff arm. Offload doesn't connect with Landon Starnes. Luckily for the Knights, they keep possession. Another dangerous pass. And it's gathered in and spinning away is Yanaropoulos gives it away. Mussey, one more pass. Trying to get now centered before downing it, and there's the try for Juan Boyd. And a quick start for the Knights. They score just about a minute and a half in.
I absolutely love that from Queens, Charlie. Great 1, 2, 3 passing. What a start to this game. Open up. Going to take another peep at it here. Good little piece of movement from Queens, and then Boyd gets on it. It was game over from there. Good job also to try to center the ball as much as he could, of course.
Conversion still fades well, right? So it stays 5-0 for the Queens Knights. As you may have mentioned, number 8 in the Rugby Hawk rankings, so a very formidable opponent. Real threat to make noise in this Midwest region and perhaps beyond. They get the ball right back off the kickoff. Go to the near side again, and Boyd's got another chance. Juan Boyd in again and centers it again and downs it. His second score early on.
It's Boyd yet again. Queens are a group of downhill runners. Boyd, the epitome of it, though. And if you're Fordham right now, you got to be thinking, how do you lock up Boyd? You want to force Queens inside the middle of the pitch. Let them play with the bigger guys, because Fordham's got it, but the speedsters out wide for Queens are just running havoc in these first 3.5 minutes.
A nice kick. It's through by Hilton Olivier. So 12-0 Queens. An excellent angle, and now Olivier will give a kickoff. You're talking about how do you lock up Boyd. I think for Fordham, the key is to win the kickoffs. They're not doing that right now. Dangerous bouncing ball. Get a whistle. Tap and go. Queens got another chance. They went too quick. Ref's going to stop it and bring it back. Now they go to the far side. Olivier to the wing. And another try. Maybe Noah Paskins, number 23. It's all Knights early on.
Well, you best bet Fordham was trying their best to cover Boyd out on the near side of the pitch. Left the far side wide open. Queens notices and Queens goes. Dominant start for the Knights. I'm loving the intensity that Queens are playing with right now, because here's the thing, Charlie. This is single elimination. It's a cascading bracket. The teams will play. If they lose, of course, they'll be demoted into other brackets besides the cup bracket, but it's really, at its essence, win or go home in terms of the national championship. And it just creates for such a great, lively tournament from the jump.
Yeah, every team guaranteed 3 games. However, mentioned it, single elimination format, no room for error. You got to be ready to go right from the rip, and this Queens team has certainly done that. Can Fordham answer? Just get one before half, give themselves a chance. Going down with it after spinning away briefly is Conrad Foster, number 20 in white and maroon. Referee will stop play. Penalty in favor of Fordham. Excuse me, penalty against Fordham.
Knock on Fordham.
Pass is picked up off the grass. Move the other way, alone on the rush. Rams get it over halfway. It's Declan St. Marie. Coach on the bench screaming for urgency right now, Chris.
Yeah, it's a good job by Aiden O'Toole. Number 3 for Fordham advances the ball in about a solid 20 meters, but none of his teammates were really with him. And at that point, it was a 1v4. Tough play for O'Neal before he falls out of bounds.
Back in the possession of the Royals. Dangerous pass, but it's picked up off the ground. Here they go on the near side. Landon Starnes trying to do it himself with a cut to the outside. Finally, he's taken down. But right back into enemy territory. What is the final play of the half? See if Queens capitalize one more time. No look pass, a lot of space. Uranopolis cuts it to the middle. And Augustin Uranopolis. Another try for Queens before the half ends.
Well, I think that every single rugby coach should show this when they're watching film and teaching guys how to play. Uranopolis, an unselfish guy, pass first type of guy. That was not by any means an intentional fake offload right there. He sincerely wanted to offload it, but he goes, whoa, I have a wide open lane right into the middle of the park. Good job by Uranopolis. And Queens with a sizable, healthy 24-0 lead as we head into the break. We'll be back for the second half.
24-0 Queens the lead at the halftime break. Chris, it was a dominant first half, 4 tries for them. What did you see out there?
Well, we said it in the first half, Charlie. I was talking about the intensity of this Queens team. They know it's, of course, at its heart, win or go home, and they're playing like it, and yet again, off the jump.
That did not take long. They win the Fordham kick, and they go more than half the length of the pitch. 29 spot in 6 minutes and 20 seconds, 7 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, great teamwork here from Queens. Lifting up, they get the boost. And from there, It's a sprint to the try zone. Queens just a little bigger, faster, and stronger so far in this one.
31-0 now off the conversion. Couple substitutions next to us. About to become official. Looks like Jack Rice will enter the game for Queens, number 15. McNichol's pass goes high. Gavin McNichol, excuse me, for Fordham out of Newton, Massachusetts. Noticeable speed, but hasn't had a chance to do much with it. There's maybe a line break. Nice tackle, though. See if Fordham can get on the board here. We talked about they need offense to win games, and it's not happening right now, although defense has certainly let them down a little bit. It might have been a case of good team against a great team. Ball and player going into touch. Rice enters, as do a couple others for Queens and Fordham. 4 total substitutions. Sebastian Ochino, one of those in purple. And on the other, excuse me, that's Dakota Almazan, number 12. And for Fordham, Eamon Schaffer. So the Queens starters getting some rest after doing their job very effectively. Landon Starnes and Hilton Olivier exit.
Olivier is one guy to watch out for. We saw him a little bit. You were mentioning Charlie in the first half. He was nominated for the nation's top male player award. Arguably one of the best players out here in Boyd's for this weekend.
Good looking play near the try zone. And there's the official signal. Fordham gets on the board. So the Rams, right after the substitution, take advantage of the middle of the pitch. And get on the board with 4 minutes to play, still trailing big.
I believe it was the freshman, Gavin McNichol. A lot of guys congested into one area at one time, but Nickel did walk away. Freshman from Newton, Massachusetts. Gritty play, and you got to give credit to Fordham. They are down, and this has been all Queens so far, but Fordham not giving up, still battling. 3.5 minutes left in this one.
They just cannot stop these long runs. Another one over the half the length of the pitch. This one from Luke Pedresci. Another score for Queens. The offense has been finding it and finding it easily.
Well, it's deja vu for Queens. Off the kickoff yet again. Saw that to start the second half. And Fordham has just had no answer defensively, Charlie.
That's the 6th try of the game for the Royals. They lead it 36-7. Still time on the clock. And with the way they're winning kickoffs, both their own kickoffs and Fordham's kickoffs, has been exceptional.
This is a Queens team who have beaten Belmont Abbey, one of the favorites to win it this weekend. Belmont Abbey actually just won. So they have the talent, they have the experience. They've been seasoned when they play against some of these other top programs. Now it's just about executing. That's exactly what they have done.
Wow, look at that run. Doesn't get much better than that. And McNichol has his second. He's gonna have to go quick, but it was a one-man show, Chris.
You think McNichol is fired up to play here in Boyd's?
I do.
Awesome, exactly. Yeah, there we go. Awesome game from the freshman, especially the past 3 minutes.
Responsible for all 14 Fordham points in the game, including in those last few minutes, as you mentioned. Coming up after this one, got a matchup between Wheeling and Babson. Wheeling, one of the favorites to win it all. We can't even talk about the upcoming schedule because Queens has scored again over on the far side. It's almost as if it's in a tape recorder. 40 points for the Royals.
Well, if there was any doubt about the Queens Knights, whether they can compete, whether they are a national championship contender here, I think they have been very firmly erased. 41-point explosion, Charlie, you just mention it. Very impressed under a new head coach. They have done so well. No hiccups for them.
Yeah, they are coming off a win at the Queens Rugby tournament that they hosted just last week, so not even a week off for getting into this national championship slate. Showing no signs of being worn down.
And they've been putting up points against a pretty solid Fordham team with a lot of their backups now in.
Yeah, both teams have dipped into the bench as we approach the final play of this one. Next dead ball will end it. And then we'll move on to our next game, Wheeling and Babson. A 1-versus-8 matchup with the Cardinals favored, perhaps one of the top teams in all of rugby, number 2 overall in the rankings. And Babson, the 8 seed, upset hunting. Fordham was upset hunting in this game and never really was in it. Trailed from pretty much the get-go and it's ballooned into a 41-14 lead. Last possession. See if McNichol can get the hat trick. He's going to pass it off here. One more to the wing, cutting back to the middle to stay in touch. And hard tackle. Almost thrown behind. Is getting up a little gingerly for Fordham is Aiden O'Toole. And you mentioned earlier had that bigger offensive play. And finally the offensive penalty against Fordham as the patient defense. And before we can officially end it, we're going to have a yellow card just for formality. Gabriel Saint-Marais is going to head off, and that will do it. Officially kicked into touch, and Queens advances to the Sweet 16. They do it easily. 41-14 the final, and Fordham will do no better than the losers bracket after a tough first loss. Coming up after the short break, Wheeling, Babson, 1-versus-8. We get to see one of the favorites in action. Quick start for our next game. Wheeling in the red, Babson in the green. 1-versus-8 matchup in the West region. Wheeling Cardinals, one of the favorites this weekend out of the Big Rivers Rugby Conference. They've only lost one game this year against Iowa Central Community College, which we had the pleasure of calling. It was a walk-off try for the Tritons in that one. It was the only time Wheeling has lost this spring season.
Yeah, well,
Victories over Kutztown, Indiana. Big ones over Notre Dame and Drury. I mean, everywhere you look, this team is impressive.
yeah, Charlie. I was listening to the College Rugby podcast with the great Will Holy, and pretty much Wheeling called that loss to ICCC a hiccup. Just a hiccup in their season. They are not just one of the favorites, they are the favorite. Defending national champions. They have so many star players, a lot of them hailing from Zimbabwe. They recruit internationally. Mike Geibel has built a fantastic program. Very excited to see how they start here. I think it could be a very similar game to the last one we just saw. And then, of course, excited to see how they fare the rest of the way.
Early mistake by the Beavers can give the Cardinals prime opportunity. From inside the 22.
And that's Joseph I. He is a tough guy to take down. Took 2 Beavers to bring him to the ground.
We go to the far side. There's a strong tackle on a non-ball carrier. The ball, however, near the try line. Looks like they're inside the 5. It's not close. There's the try, scored in front of the student and fan section. So, strike for Wheeling. They get on the board early. Here's another look, Chris.
Charlie, who else but Shadrach Mendoza, the MVP at this very event last year? He scored 3 tries in the national championship game. Call him MC Hammer. Can't touch this for Shadrach Mendoza. And that is not the student section. I actually saw on their Instagram. That is the alumni section. Wheeling's rugby team has been so dominant, so good. It's garnered the support of those who have been and graduated from Wheeling throughout their existence. So awesome to see the alumni in town here in DC and Maryland checking out their rugby team.
Yeah, I'm just wired to say student section, even though fan section would be definitely a more appropriate way to describe what's going on there, which includes some alumni, as you mentioned.
They were students at one point, maybe 45, 50 years ago.
There's certainly some parents in there as well, and perhaps even some general fans. A lot of red over there, watching their team get off to a great start. Their kick does not go far enough. Wind blowing from our right to our left, and that kick certainly looked knocked down by the wind. Maybe some space in the middle for Babson. A couple cuts from Yakin Nadai. That pass is high, bobbled, not knocked on. No, it is knocked on. Could have gone either way, but they get Cole Thompson. And turnover again for Babson.
Yeah, take another look at it here. While getting hit, it was Thompson. Just gets his fingertips on it, but not able to grasp it. Always awkward with the rugby ball, especially when it's high up in the air. Everybody's moving.
There was Satchel Sevenaw just a bit high with the pass. And again, looked like it didn't have to be called. It certainly went up in the air, maybe just enough forward for the referee to award the knock-on. So a scrum coming on a set piece for the Cardinals.
Charlie, I'm interested to see if Wheeling tries to play a little more conserved in this one, save some energy for later, try to get out to a quick and early lead.
There's a lane. And how about this speed? Alex Nyamunda breaks one more, gives it off, and Panache Mugragrodi for the try. Gets to the middle. Mugragrodi.
Yet again, Alex Nyamunda, one of the top 7 players in the country, has a great blend of size and speed. Gives it, I believe, Mugo Rigatti marches into the try zone. And Mugo Rigatti finished as the MVP Sevens, the tournament that Wheeling hosts every year. And he was very important during their 15 season as well. 3rd on the team in tries, carrying his success forward into this week. And that's got to be a nice start for number 44.
And how about, you mentioned all the attributes of I, but it was the awareness, the setup. that made that play possible. And excuse me, not I, but Nyamunda. Just so many talented weapons in this Wheeling team. Sometimes it's tough to keep track of just how many dangerous ball carriers they have, but commit the penalty there and they'll have to back up. Pretty good kick into touch. And Babson's bench trying to get them going. Charles Price had that kick. Much to the approval of the sideline. Not out of it, but they certainly need the next one in the final minute of the first half. Thanks for joining us on the Rugby Network. Line out is high, and Wheeling's gonna have no problem turning that around. And there goes Mr. MVP himself, Mendaza, untouched. Looking like Lightning McQueen with that speed in that red jersey.
He is, and it's just so hard to defend. Shadrach Mendaza is just, speak of Lightning McQueen, he's lightning in a bottle. This guy, when he gets it, he just explodes, goes from 0 to 60. And the biggest thing with him, it's his first step. Babson makes an error. Self-inflicted errors are going to hurt today for the Beavers. Falls into the hands of the wrong guy. Mendaza explodes right off the blocks. And after his first 2 steps, you just can't catch it.
Yeah, you got another look at that play. And Chris, one thing I noticed watching the replay, and we'll get to this more in the second half, but Babson put 4 personnel into the lineout and failed it, which opened up the doors for Mendaza. 21-0 Wheeling will step aside.
Yep. I was looking for a roster for the next match that I don't have yet. And the next match I don't have anyone else. You haven't had time. We're good. All right. Thank you.
Brandon A. raises the stick for conversion. Tries forward Hardy.
Yeah, as far as whatever color.
Harding out of Riverdale, New Jersey. And everybody knows.
7 minutes separating Wheeling from another trip to the Sweet 16. Babson's still not on the board, and they're going to have to kick it away. Just to touch on that last play of the first half, Chris, the try scored the second one of the game for Shadrach Mendaza. And, you know, if you're Babson, you got a line out here. You're after a nice kick into touch, and you put a lot of personnel into that play, and it just doesn't work out for you. Maybe it doesn't matter how much personnel you put into any play, because Hugo Rigatti is so fast.
This is exactly where Wheeling starts to separate themselves. It's often common in sevens we see a team have 1 or 2 star players where you got to put an extra man on them just to defend them and to stop any big runs from happening. But Wheeling's roster and their depth is just second to none. I think that is the main and pivotal reason as to why they are the heavy favorites. We saw it with Mendaza in the first half, and then yet again, it's Mugo Rigatti. Splits the defense and just goes. It's a sprint from there. Mugo Rigatti has never lost a sprint in his life. Scores a try, and it's those two. But then you also have Goshi Mashigo, number 5, Alex Nyamunda, who we saw in the first half. So many different star players on this team. Joseph Ida, the bowling ball, often placed in the middle of the field, always a physical presence.
Doesn't get much better than this. And see if Babson can get room up the middle. A couple red sweaters converge. Wheeling, they made a couple substitutions. Navin Couch enters, as does Ayub Jolly, numbers 3 and 11 respectively. They begin to see some of that depth. They commit the penalty here. It'll be tap and go for the Beavers. And getting us back underway is Vasco Breis, or Brees. Puts it down, now we're going. Couple quick passes. A little bit of a scissor play leading to Austin Klein, leaving it behind him. Nice cutback. Ref there as well with Brees. Penalty against Wheeling. You're gonna get a scrum.
Babson's got a saying, Charlie, within their program. Roll uphill. You want to talk about rolling uphill? Down 28-0 on the defending national champions with just shy of 4 minutes on the clock. Have a nice chance to put some points on the board here within Wheeling's 22-meter line.
Taking advantage of some penalties against the Cardinals, bringing it down very close. See if maybe they go, we've got a yellow card coming. And so Wheeling's gonna play down a man. Babson's also gonna make a substitution, it looks like. No, they won't. But Wheeling is playing with 6 just into the game. Jolly's the one who commits the penalty. That pass is broken up. Looks like it's going to be a knock-on, though, and it will. Babson smartly lets it go.
Still terrific defense from Wheeling. Knock-on or no knock-on. They prevent a try from being scored, give himself a second chance to maintain their shutout.
Oh, don't say it.
You
can't say it.
You believe in the Jinx?
There are definitely listeners who do. So it's not about what we believe. It's about what they believe.
Well, I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but Wheeling gives himself a chance to maintain their shutout.
Wow, I can't believe that. Hope they score here. Just to spite you. Gonna be tough to do, even against a 6-man defensive unit. One that plays with as much ferocity as these Cardinals do. It's been a long offensive possession for the Beavers.
Well, Wheeling's content right now to sit back, let Babson move the ball, and then, of course, try to strike on a counter if they do get the ball, but really just want to see this one out.
Down near the 5. Offload to the middle, another one. Good ball movement, clean offensive possession as of yet. Diving for the try zone, not quite in yet. Another penalty against Wheeling. Tap and go for Babson, trying to flip it out wide. Just like that, a knock on by Charles Price, and so the long defensive possession finally leads to a stop for Wheeling, and took them about 6 minutes, almost the entire half, to get that stop.
That's a gut punch for Babson. Saw their coaches and players on the bench just all put their hands on their head. We're really hoping they could punch that one in. And now for Wheeling, they have less than a minute to keep possession of the ball and then knock it out of touch. Maybe you see him kick it and just try to chase it.
Ayub Jolly back in, 7-on-7 action. I don't think they're going to play conservative here, Chris. Certainly doesn't look like it. Broken tackle and home free again. Another score for the Cardinals. They are adding on at will with 25 seconds in the half.
Charlie talked about it earlier. They have so many different guys on this team who are so talented. One of them, Alex Nyamunda. Big time try. Nyamunda breaks away, and after playing defense for this whole second half, it takes about a fraction of a second for Wheeling to go down other side of the pitch and put 5 points on the board. Call it 7.
After a successful conversion, final whistle sounds. Wheeling fans, alumni, student section, whatever you want to call it, they approve. The Cardinals advance in a dominant shutout effort.
Here we go. Wheeling showing why they're the favorites, showing why they won last year as well. What a great program they have built down in West Virginia. And for a city and a town that used to be known from a Billy Joel song, I think this rugby team is giving some more fame to the city of Wheeling, West Virginia.
We now have a 6-game winning streak at this tournament, dating back to the last 2 years. We'll step aside briefly. When we come back, the final game of this little block. It's Texas A&M.
Play here at 12:30.
Two versus 7 matchup in the West region of the men's premier bracket. Number 2 seeded Brown Bears, number 7 seeded Texas A&M Aggies, and we are underway. And it's Brown kicking it off and receiving their own kickoff. And that's a good start for them. Marco Lapierre was the one who went up for it, helped save possession.
Charlie, Brown are the reigning national champions in 15s. It's going to be a tough one for Texas A&M. Heavy underdogs looking to produce the first major upset of the day. The Aggies have really played teams down south, Georgia, South Carolina, Kentucky, Alabama. They haven't gone up against some of the big guys and the bigger programs from the Northeast. Now they are against Brown.
Yeah, Brown not only good in the men's side, one of the best, if not the best, women's program as well. Of course, of the 144 teams that are here this weekend, 64 of them on the women's side, including the multiple-time defending national champion Brown Bears. So a good program on both sides for a school that's usually in the Ivy League, but for rugby purposes, they are in the Liberty Rugby Conference, number 13 overall in Rugby Hawk coming in today. Here they go. Broken tackle. Texas A&M player slow to get up, just jogging back into position. It's number 14 in white, Abbas Bangosh, the worst of that hit. And he leaves the gap right down the middle, and Brown's on the board first. Theo Romero the score.
Argentina is one of the best. No, it is the best country for sevens in the world right now. That is where Theo Romero hails from and gets into Brown on his own merit, has become a star for the Bears. And they're showing why they are one of the top teams. Them and Wheeling right up there to be the favorites in this. You also look at a team such as AIC, who, well, Brown have beaten 19-12.
It's a good game. Certainly today, with the disparity in rankings and seeds, barring some major upset, best action is yet to come in this tournament as the top teams begin to advance. See if Texas A&M has a response. You mentioned we haven't seen a big upset yet. First game of the day did feature an upset in a 4-5 matchup between Walsh and Adrian.
That was the most even 4-5 matchup I've ever seen. Defensive battle, stalemate throughout the whole first half.
Yeah, we'll give our viewers a chance, 5 seconds to guess the score of that one. 7-5.
There we
The
go.
difference was a conversion kick. 0-0 at the half and 7-5 for Adrian. They pick up the win. It means we'll see Walsh, we think, again, we don't know what the schedule holds, but we think we'll see Walsh later today on this field. Either way, that was a great game to watch to start the day, and then we come over to this field to watch some of the action here. Both fields showing men's premier division action. Many different divisions going on, and Brown's gonna get another run from Tito Ejuda. He's in for the try. That seemingly came out of nowhere, just a burst of speed from his own half, and made it count for the second score of the game for the Bears.
Judah not necessarily known for his speed, 6'1", 215 center. Doesn't have that breakaway speed that blows you away, but he's got a high rugby IQ. You can see it there. He curls his run while he's running. The backtracking runners from Texas A&M just couldn't get to him, and you're going to take a full look at it. Nice offload, and then here it is. Ejuda realizes, curves his route a little bit, and he gets a well-deserved try. Puts Brown up by 2 scores.
14-0 after the successful conversion. The Bears in front. Now they're going to try to kick it deep, very deep. Let's see what the Aggies can do in response. They're going to take it all the way back to midfield for the tap and go. Not hesitating at all. Moving ahead with it is Raul Garcia. To his left and another pass. The Aggies inside the 22, trying to march their way towards the 5. Nice run, cutting it back towards the middle. Another cut. Still going. Offload just doesn't connect, but it bounces backwards. Texas A&M keeps possession towards the flag. And for a try. So the Aggies get on the board in the final 2 minutes of the first half. Race to the pylon per se, and it was won by the ball carrier.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with how Texas A&M was moving the ball right there.
How about
all
that
way.
kick, by the way?
Yeah, phenomenal. Everything phenomenal about that sequence of rugby. Far side of the pitch, able just to play with their heads up. See the next man, nobody trying to take it into their own hands and be this sort of superstar. Just some great, solid team rugby, and that is the foundational element of sevens. Nice to see Texas A&M putting some points on the board against Brown. A very, very good Brown team, as we have discussed.
Yes, certainly is. And Alex Covarrubias with the kick, and that's no small deal, Chris. It brings it to a 1-possession game as the first half winds to a near close. So 14-7, Brown ahead.
Yeah.
What is quickly becoming a way more competitive game than the Bears would like it to be.
And Texas A&M has a chance here off the scrum to put some more points on the board before the half officially comes to a close. I bet Brown maybe would try to attack as well. I think both teams want to score.
Maybe some room, but cutting back is Jace Hernandez. Didn't think he had the edge. The touchline's right there, so it seems like an appropriate call. In the middle, Nathan Sieberhagen. And it was passed but gathered in. Another one. Nice catch. Maybe a line break. Spinning inside the 22. Aggies offense going to work right now. This is Jude Salinas. Brown coach next to us yelling some instructions to his team on the ropes right now. Beautiful pass. Still one man to beat though for Abbas Bangosh. Ball's free for a minute, still on the ground. Flip towards the middle, that's dangerous. It's taken the other way. Trying to get the edge. Shaking a hit, now a nice tackle on Theo Romero. Finally, we get a whistle. Brown's gonna go quick. Here's Eric Estienne. And Estienne. What a change of fate at the end of the first half. Brown scores. They were on the ropes and then they get the try. And what a play from defense to offense.
That was just such an awesome sequence of rugby to witness. So close for Texas A&M, Charlie. It's got to be so agonizing for the Aggies. And credit to Cody McLaren, number 12 on Texas A&M. He fights back, he makes the tackle, gives his team a chance to come back. But at the end of the day, Brown able to get the job done. Theo Romero looks absolutely gassed. He put in a shift in that first half.
21-7 lead will step aside at half.
Hart now, boys! Think about everyone who made it possible for us to come here, boys. Play for them. Play for Hart. 1, 2, 3, Hart! Let's go, let's go!
They messed it up. That's really why.
Welcome you back to Field 12 at the Maryland's, I don't know the official name, Soccerplex?
Yeah.
Sportsplex.
Soccerplex here in Maryland.
Turned into a beautiful rugby field, set of fields for the action today. And we're getting treated to a pretty good game here, Chris, but maybe I think that's too big of a gut punch at the end of the first half for Texas A&M to come back from as the underdog, or you think they still have life?
Well, they have life if they can make something happen right here.
Ball still free. And a try. What a play. That was unbelievable. And a conversation between the ref and some of the Brown players, but if it stands, what an individual effort.
You said it, Charlie. Unbelievable.
For Notre Dame.
100%, Charlie. Yet again for Ajuda, showing off his physicality, high rugby IQ. He can feel, he can sense the runners coming from behind him. Again, curling his run in and out. Makes for a tough tackle from Texas A&M. Also a nice stiff arm a little earlier. Stellar piece of rugby from Ajuda.
He's got two very crucial tries now, both after A&M scores to help his team stay in front. So now it's a 28-14, or 28-12, I should say. Brown in control, now up 3 scores, although it certainly, Chris, doesn't feel like it.
It does not. You got to give a lot of credit for Texas A&M. Nobody really knew what to expect out of them just because they played a bit of an unconventional schedule. They also had lost to South Carolina, a team that a lot of teams here had beaten. So, again, it raised a lot of questions about the Aggies, but I think that they can find a lot of success maybe in that plate bracket.
Trying to stay alive, though. They're going to have to score quick. Line break for them here to get it into Brown territory, but they commit the knock-on. Might be the one that seals it. Clock under 3 minutes now. After this game, it's a very short break for about 10 minutes before oh, not even. Break was built in, but the game's got a little delayed, so it won't even be a break, but we're going to hand it back over to Abby and Jeremy for the next 4 games, some bowl bracket action at the conclusion of this one. But look at the run down the right touchline. And Kenyon Graham making it happen. 12 unanswered points for the Bears.
I talked a little bit about rugby IQ earlier. Let's just talk about general IQ. Kenyon Graham is a biology major at an Ivy League school. He's also got smarts, of course, on the rugby pitch. Does a fantastic job to round the flank of the pitch and then bring it back into the middle to set up a nice and easy conversion kick for the Bears.
But it's missed wide to the left. So first miss in the kicking game for the Bears.
Well, I guess that's the jinx we were talking about, Charlie.
I told you. I warned you.
Eh.
You refuse to believe in it, and then it shows up seemingly every broadcast.
Yeah.
You got away with it with the Wheeling shutout by the skin of your teeth.
It's nice to be right sometimes, Charlie.
It is nice to be right.
Got to stick with my guns, if you will.
1:12 to play in half one. Bears starting to run away with it. Texas A&M, give them credit. They stayed in this game as best as possible, but the play at the end of the first half, what could have been a tie game, ended up being a 2-score deficit. And then the second try of the game by Ed Judah, really the dagger. And it's led to another try, the most recent one from Graham, and now possession in Aggie territory. Brown looking to strike again, taking advantage of the penalty. As the wind begins to pick up here in Maryland, diving for the try line. Another score for the Bears. More insurance for them. They're going to punch their ticket to the round of 16.
Yeah, just some more endurance from Brown than Texas A&M. Of course, the Aggies have fought all day long, but a nice touch and go here for SDN. Great offload out wide, and then Brown able to dodge a few tackles. A little bit of a Superman dive into the try zone, but they're just showing some more life in the final 3 minutes, have been able to pull away, and they're going to come out with a nice victory and head in to the second round of Cup play.
Teams that have advanced on this field right now, starting from the first game of the day. ICCC, St. Bonaventure, Dartmouth, Belmont Abbey, and then the last 4 games that Chris and I have brought you. And advancing out of those 4, Kutztown, Wheeling, Brown, and I'm missing one. Who am I missing? The second game.
Was it the Iona game? No, that was Iona Kutztown. Charlie, it eludes me, unfortunately.
You know, we've been treated to some good teams. It was Queens. Queens with the big win over
Queens.
Fordham to
How could we
advance,
forget
and
Queens? Queens was dominant.
best team we've
Really-
seen, perhaps.
Yeah, well, yeah, we saw a lot
Wheeling
of good
was
teams.
too.
Wheeling and Queens, very impressed with them, but also very impressed with both teams we saw here. I was very impressed with Texas A&M for the first 10, 13 minutes of that game, or should I say 10 to 12, and then, of course, Brown with a huge win. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with the rest of the way.
We'll get some Premier Bowl bracket when we come back, and it's Jeremy and Abby on the call.
Just kicked off here. We have Walsh playing against Nazareth. They're in the consolation bracket. Both teams lost their first game earlier this morning, and so now they're competing in the consolation bracket. So early penalty against Walsh, and Nazareth will be moving the ball. It's Jeremy Ognall back here with Abby Gastaitis. We're excited to be back on YouTube with you, representing Collegiate Rugby here, the National Collegiate Rugby, and at the CRC here in Boyd's, Maryland.
All right, opportunity for Walsh. First one here. Clean line out as they get the ball out to their back line, seeing if they can find some holes in this Nazareth defense as the ball's in two hands from the Walsh player. Number 15 just coasting in, all coming off that set piece. It looks like Lachlan McDonald for Walsh. Fair play to him, opening up this Premier Bowl final. So they got the line out. You see McDonald there, throws out the right hand, and then a dummy and a swerve. He has the acceleration. No one in the backfield for Nazareth. So that's an easy 5-pointer for Walsh and Nazareth. They need to clean up that defensive side. We saw that in their opening loss this morning. They'll need to right those wrongs.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well articulated. Some work to do for Nazareth. Get the high kick. He's going to be penalized for a bit of an early contact there. It was borderline, but the referee's given it to Nazareth, so they'll have a chance to. And their player is down. Looks like he took a bit of a hit to the ribs. So we'll take a brief break for a second and see what they're going to do with the injured player.
Looks like that might be Bowen for Nazareth. We watched him early this morning. A lot of efforts on the attack and defensive sides from him. He's an integral player. You see him give the 2 thumbs up to the medical staff saying he's good to carry on. He will definitely be needed to make an impact here for the purple and black squad.
Yeah, great call on that, Abby. He was definitely their best player this morning. He created some really nice attacking opportunities. He got a really good turnover at a breakdown. So, great recognition by you. And now we've got a bit of a contest on the ground. It looks a little bit messy, but Walsh penalized, and here go Nazareth trying to break away. Oh, loose attempt at a kick there, but they managed to retain possession. Abby, having played for as long as you have at the high level with the U.S. in the Olympics, what do you see as the big difference between the top teams and the teams that are average? Let's put it that way.
Skill set definitely on display from some of these top tier teams, but for me it's that team cohesion and the patience. You're not expecting a home run on the first phase. Instead, you're willing to hold on to that ball, the pill, give it time to build pressure and momentum, because playing defense or rugby sevens is so challenging. You have to make the defense work, pull them side to side to create gaps instead of expecting that first phase try.
Yeah, beautifully put. I mean, obviously we recognize it's a different level of athlete and everything, and you're in high performance programs. A lot of these guys aren't. But what you said is so true. Just be brilliant in the basics, we always say. If you get the basics right, then you can beat some better teams even.
Fundamentals are so key. When you're in the game, it's so hard catching your lungs, your legs are tired. So if you have to think about how to pass the ball, you're not going to be able to find that space or those holes in the defense. You want to be able to just focus on the gaps and exploiting them like Nazareth just did.
Yeah, great breakout there by Devin Clark, set up actually by Owen Barr. So, and then another mistake by Nazareth. They're really repeating the sins of their past from this morning, aren't they?
Fair point. Error rate was so high in that opening match. They do have moments of brilliance, as we've just seen, but then simple handling letting them down.
So now we're going to have a scrum. Remy Thompson from Walsh, she's going to be putting the ball in. They've got both sides wide open. Let's see which direction they decide to go. Faked it to the left, and he's going through untouched. Oh my goodness. And he's going to outrun his opposite number pretty comfortably to dot it down right under the post. Those are nice, easy plays for scrum halves.
Remy Thompson pulling the strings in the middle of the pitch, ball in two hands. It just hesitates Barr from Nazareth enough. And then Thompson has the wheels to get away from his opposite number. And those are those easy tries that you really bank on in a game of rugby sevens. It doesn't require a lot of work. The rest of Thompson's teammates just get to take a break and watch him score untouched in the corner. So this puts Walsh in a really dominant position.
Yeah, I think I did see some of the Walsh players standing around smiling as they saw him go. So, yeah, I mean, the other thing is Nazareth have to be a little more intelligent around that midfield scrum because it makes it so wide open. And having said that, here we go again, a massive breakout from them Lachlan McDonald. Not a very American name there. I'm assuming he's from another part of the world. And he actually is. He's from Brisbane, Ohio, which is another part of the world. And great breakout again. But what I was saying is, those are very hard to defend, those midfield scrums. And, Nazareth have to concentrate on, really, they have to try and pull their hooker out as quickly as possible to defend that blind side. Or they have to bump another player over there. But they didn't do it, and the result was an easy try.
And Lachlan McDonald's in for his second in just as many minutes, but completely agreed with you. For me, Nazareth, you just have to tighten up around set piece or wherever the ball is. Force them to go wide and find some space, not through you.
Absolutely. And that's just exactly what Nazareth started to do. But he's going to be isolated. They managed to retain possession. Oh, no, that's going to be a penalty, playing the ball on the ground. So now they have another possession. Oh, it looks like the number 10, their best player, Rashawn Bowen, little gimpy getting up there. So let's see what they do with him.
Bowen trying to walk it off, testing it out. That fatigue already settling in here in the second game of the day. Remember, both of these teams played earlier this morning, ended up on the bottom half of that match, and so here they are competing for the bowl now in the Men's Premier Cup.
Yeah, it's funny looking at Barr, who put that ball to touch. You probably won't get this comparison because I'm a lot older than you, Abby, but he reminds me a little bit of Bjorn Borg with the headband. I like the look. I think he carries it well. I'll explain who Bjorn Borg was later on to you.
Yeah, you got me on that one, but we are here at halftime. Walsh 3 tries, putting him up 19 points to 0.
Yeah, very, very comfortable, very clean half by Walsh. A little loose by Nazareth. And I'm not going to ask you to go into the Nazareth huddle like I did this morning. I think we need to let the players sort it out and see what they can do to try and come back.
When Walsh looking so dominant, you have to think they're probably wondering what happened in their first game to end up here. And this is a challenging match to play in, right? Both teams wanting to have still been competing for that championship opportunity. But after one loss here at the Collegiate Rugby Championships, you drop down, and then now they can compete for that next best layer.
Yeah, I have some pretty strong opinions on this, Abby. What do you think of the decision? And I understand why they do it with the number of teams. What do you think about this, one and done versus pool play?
Because the tournament is so massive, you're almost forced into that. But I would love to see a round of pool play because you never know what's going to happen after that reseeding, and quarterfinals are some of the best games to get to watch. So you're almost in a quarterfinal straight off the bat in this style of tournament.
Absolutely. And it is. I mean, again, I understand the rationale, but it's difficult because you could be a really good team and you could have a bad couple of moments and you're done. And it's a shame because you really want the best teams to be representing quarterfinals all the way through the final. And anyway, having said that, we're about to blow the whistle again with Nazareth kicking off from our right to left. Ball actually bounced into touch, so it will become a line out to Walsh.
No one from Walsh going up to snag that one. They might have thought it was going out on the full, which it would have been brought back to the halfway, but well placed from Nazareth. They'll have to defend the line out.
Yeah, a line out right in front of the beer garden, so I'm sure we'll see that space get busier as the day goes on. Here's a really nice breakout by Nazareth. Oh, really good pass and catch by Nazareth. So the number 12 there from Nazareth just running hard onto the ball. Dylan Fairchild, out of Corning, New York. That's a beautiful score, don't you think?
I love that. Right off the turnover, Pavlik, ball in two hands, the center. He's in the purple headgear. He just pulled the strings there and then released Fairchild with the wheels on the edge. And Nazareth had their first try.
Yeah, it's something that Nazareth have threatened to do in both matches and really haven't accomplished it. That's the first time I think we've seen a clean breakout from them, and very impressive. And the reality is now they're in a contest. They're down by 12, but there's plenty of time to go. The wind is in their favor, and let's see what they can do with it.
2 scores the difference. Your man Barr there, him and his headband, ball in hand, ready to restart.
Yeah, unfortunately, he didn't kick that like Borg would hit his forehand or backhand, so he'll be regretting that one. But now, free kick middle to Walsh. Let's see what they can do with it. Again, ball in hand of Remy Thompson, who actually, even though I didn't get the other guy's name right, he's actually out of Oxford, England, and he just showed some clean heels there to go in untouched under the post.
Remy Thompson in for a double, has the answer for Walsh as they bring their lead right back.
Yeah, he has a rugby pedigree, you can tell, because he came out of Hartbury College, which is part of the whole Gloucester setup in the UK. And so he's definitely got some rugby savvy behind him. I don't know his experience, but you can tell just the way he plays the game. He knows what he's doing. And you get 1 or 2 players like that in sevens, and it can make all the difference.
He definitely knows his way around a pitch, knows his way to a try line, and being in the middle of the pitch wearing that 9 jersey, he does seem to be a scrum half by nature, but he has the footwork and the rugby IQ to go along with it, let alone the speed to finish.
Definitely the IQ, something the English are very much known for, so I would agree with you on that one, Abby, for sure. Nice high kick, retained well by Nazareth. Again, they're looking to make a little bit of an escape here, try and get back in this game. Now down by 3 scores, they have some work to do. Good strong carry though. That was Otero, nice carry out of the Bronx in New York. Trying to hit the edge again, looking for some space. Finally, they're looking to go a little bit side to side, which is what they've been lacking. And they're doing a nice job of it. Unfortunately, they're not getting a lot of territory. The defense from Walsh is up and in their face and really pinning them deep.
Looks like it might have been a blocked kick off a Walsh hand into touch. So ball remains with Nazareth, but they are just pinned down in their own 22. They need someone to hit up the middle, create 2 sides, force Walsh to pick a side to defend, and then see if they can find an overlap. There's a lot of space in the backfield, but right now it's just a wall of red jerseys in front of them.
Absolutely. And the side to side without any penetration isn't doing them any good. They need someone running a hard line somewhere trying to insert and create a defensive mismatch, and they haven't been able to do that. And now we have a forward pass called, I believe, so now we have an attacking scrum for Walsh, just about 10-12 meters from the Nazareth line, so they're going to have to play some defense for the next couple of minutes.
And just an unforced error. Walsh weren't flying up, putting them under heaps of pressure. They did that to themselves, and a little inexperience shown there versus someone punching through, having a crack up the middle like we discussed.
It's a beautiful day here in Boyd's, Maryland. It's a little toasty, I have to say. I told you earlier, being a West Coast guy, a little bit soft. You're probably used to a bit of this mugginess.
As I sit here with my quarter zip jacket on still.
Absolutely. Abby's saying it's a bit chilly, which, as my wife would say, she calls me bubble boy because I need to be between 68 and 72 degrees. Anyway, that's just a little aside, but still in an attacking position here. We had another nice run there by Remy Thompson, good carry, and they've got possession again a few meters from Nazareth's line with a little bit less than 90 seconds to go. Nice play, little decoy run there. They've got some space here if they use it. Very nice pass off to the left. And in goes 19, Josh Grudel. He's a finance major out of Thompson, Ohio. So nice carry by him.
Really well-worked try from the Walsh side. Remy Thompson contained, but then it's simple. It's through the hands, but look at the crisp passing. and how wide they're able to shift that pill. It's a left foot step, and he dives over, gives a little flip for show, and then Walsh extend their lead even further, looking very comfortable, very confident.
Very comfortable. His locks were really flowing as he was carrying that ball to the line, the pill, as you say. And there they're penalized, not going 10, so they'll have to retreat. But I think this one's up 33-7 with about 25 seconds to go. Let's see, again, like we said earlier this morning, hopefully Nazareth can just build a little bit of momentum, for their next match.
Maybe a consolation try to finish this one out. It's a hard line from Bowen and a nice little wrap play.
He's a little close to the sideline. Oh, and that's a critical error, critical error once again, as we said. The sideline is an extra defender and you can't get thrown into it like that. So big mistake again. A little bit of naivete, as they say.
And then one final line out for Walsh. This will be our last play. See if they look to go the 80, or are they going to kick this one out?
Looks like they're going to give it a shot. They don't want to save their legs when they want to give it another go. So good on them. I like the enterprise. And here we go again. We've got some space on the edge of picking it. Oh, that's a really nice cover tackle. I will tell you, Rashawn Bowen has showed up every single game. Really impressive performance by him, despite the losing efforts. A little bit of a patient attack here. Nazareth's defense is a little disjointed. We're going around the corner again. The young man from Oxford, England, puts it in the corner just to put the nail in the coffin there. So very, very comfortable. Hopefully we'll see a replay here, but very comfortable and great performance by Remy Thompson.
Remy Thompson receives the ball from his teammate, and then it's an in and away. A little stutter step, the acceleration. A little bit of an attempt at the tackle. And then Thompson stays down trying to catch his lungs, but he's up now, passing the ball off.
Yeah. Oh, there we go again, Jeremy. You need to take a breath, son. I think I just got a left hook to the jaw. So Clemente Aguirre from Santiago, Chile with the out the back pass there to set it up. I'll be taking a TV timeout and leaving it to Abby to do the next piece of commentary.
Jeremy's going to commentate the next game by himself, but we do have Purdue Delaware coming up next.
We do indeed, Abby. Well said. And I will take it on. I had to leave Abby earlier on because I had to go be with my Claremont team, which is great. And Abby said even though I annoyed the heck out of her at times, she said that she didn't enjoy it doing by herself. So we're back together and we'll see if we can make this work.
Reunited.
Reunited indeed.
Both of these teams again lost earlier this morning and now looking to find their first win of the day. Delaware really started their first match of the day really strong. They scored early and then ended up losing. And then Purdue also suffering a loss. Both of these teams came ranked 7th in their division of this bracket.
Yes, as you said, I think Delaware showed quite a bit of enterprise. They were just outgunned. Unfortunately, I don't believe we've seen Purdue yet. I think they were in the stadium earlier, so this is our first time to eyeball them. So I'm not sure of how they end up here or who they lost to in the stadium, but looking forward to another good match. It looks like we have some communication issues with the referee, so we're just waiting a second for that, for the whistle to blow.
It's a little windy down here on field 12. See the flags in the background blowing to one of the teams kicking into the wind. It looks like Delaware will be against the wind for this first half. So the restart's being really critical. We've seen a lot go not 10, Some go out on the full, but not many caught on the full.
No, absolutely. And like you said, Delaware definitely needs to be aware of this wind in their face. You give it a little bit more of a pump to get it up there to be contestable. So it looks as though we've almost sorted out our comms issues. Next thing, Abby and I will sort out our comms issues, and we look forward to a good match. And here comes the referee to the middle.
Got the Purdue bench cheering their teammates on. I'm not 100% sure what they're saying, but they're animated and they're fired up.
They are fired up, that's for sure. I'm hoping we don't have to listen to that for the whole match, but we'll have to see how that goes. Anyway, it looks like we're ready now. Delaware ball in hand, kicking off. They're saying boiler up. The Purdue Boilermakers. Boiler up. Well, I like the enthusiasm. Maybe not that original, but I like the enthusiasm. And as always, Abby called it. Doesn't go 10. So now Purdue will have the first possession, trying to boiler up.
Took the words out of my mouth, Jeremy. I was ready for the zinger. Let's see if they can boiler up.
I think we might hear a little bit more of that this afternoon. We have number 11 there, trying to create something. Sean O'Donnell. He's an industrial engineering major out of Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Little kick through, but sweeper's in place. Nice pickup. It was not an easy ball. So we had 10 there. Nicholas Ursu with clean pickup and ball retention in the middle of the field. Patient build up by Delaware, not getting a lot of territory, but some patience showing. Again, nice ball out to the left from Urso. Ooh. Little bit of a lift there, but it wasn't called. To me, Abby, Delaware looked very narrow in attack. They look pretty flat and very narrow. What are your thoughts?
Agreed. I liked the change of field, how they bounced back to that short side, but lacking a little bit of oomph right now.
Yeah, at least we got a guy inserting there. Oh, and there's a nice pickup from the tackle. Oh, number 2, really good tap tackle there coming in from Purdue 19. I think that was John Kustra out of Vienna, Virginia. But a really good breakout there by Delaware, by Jack Kelly.
Jack Kelly was actually in the breakdown and then gets the handoff from his teammate. He doesn't quite have the wheels to get around. The ankle tap is sweet, but the support is sweeter. And well worked team try for Delaware, just as we were calling them out for their lackluster attack.
Well, I think they were probably listening to us and deciding they needed a different strategy. So, yeah, but kudos to them. It was a really nice, well-worked try. Good break, nice offload to a supporting runner. And that's one of the things in sevens is if you guys made a breakout, don't just watch him go in. Support the ball carrier because he might not make it there.
That's definitely a key difference for these top-performing sides, that support play, not watching your teammate run the 80 meters and get turned over.
Oh, there's a really nice step. Oh, a couple of steps. Oh, and another step. Really good consecutive steps there by Purdue. I couldn't quite get the number. Looked like number 11, was it? I think it was Sean O'Donnell, but... And there we go. Ethan Ross, great support. In under the posts.
That combination, O'Donnell stepping his way through the middle, drawing in a lot of the Blue Hens.
Yeah, look how bunched Delaware are on defense.
They all
see 5 bodies right there.
They all had to join forces to help him out, but then great little dish out to Ethan Ross. skirts away, no one in the backfield after Urso had to be pulled in to make that tackle on O'Donnell earlier. Have ourselves a ball game.
Yeah, we definitely have a ball game. It's fun to watch. The wind's actually picking up a little bit, so that might affect conditions as well. I know you said earlier about you caught a zip. I will tell the audience here that Abby actually went to the wool sweater when the wind picked up, so she's definitely feeling the effects of the coolness.
As long as we're keeping the audience aware of my outfit changes,
Your
then
sartorial
we're doing
elegance.
a job.
Absolutely. And here we go. Now, Delaware again. Oh, looks like they've got some nice ball movement here, and they've actually got some more width and depth than we called out earlier. So let's see if they can break out from their 22 and cause some problems like they did a minute ago. They definitely have some space here. So you got a good supporting runner. It looks like he does. Can he get to the breakdown? Absolutely. Oh, again, some nice ball movement by Delaware. Really nice to the edge. Someone out there with the Stars and Stripes scrum cap. Didn't get the number there. But he's earned them a penalty.
Penalty for Delaware. Looks like they're going to slow things down a little bit. Maybe work a training pitch move, but just a little indecision at the base of the ruck for the scrum half for me for Delaware. That's letting them down. That's letting Purdue get off the line and control the collisions.
Yeah, they're definitely controlling the collisions, just like they are now. Delaware's doing a nice job of holding on to the ball. Again, I just think they need to try and penetrate a little bit more. There's some good defense there by Purdue. They couldn't hold him up, though, so there's still an opportunity for Delaware to get to the edge here. Oh, he tried a little grubber through, and I think that's a mistake. And giving the ball away when you're in the attacking 22 is not the best idea. Oh, my goodness. We had nice linkage between Ross and Ryan there, and we've got a breakout with number 15, I believe that is. Tell me with your young eyes, Abby, it looks like it is. So Brunetti from El Cerrito, California. Almost my neck of the woods.
Keenan Brunetti extending the lead for Purdue, but agreed, not the tactic from Delaware. The kick in behind. Even if you're man up, just back yourself with possession. You kick away the ball, ends up back in Purdue's hands. O'Donnell, we've seen his footwork already. He did it again, and then it was a simple cut out on the edge. Really great feet from Brunetti, and then the speed to finish it off.
And then O'Donnell rounds it off with the conversion right under the post. So, again, really comprehensive play there by Purdue. But, you know what, again, I still think we have a match here, don't we?
I think it's quite good. There's been a lot of back and forth. Purdue are scoring relatively quickly. I would say possession favors Delaware. They're just not able to get as many points on the board. But the wind helping them out, ball will go dead. That means it's Delaware ball back at the half.
And that's a whistle for halftime, it looks like.
Unlucky for Delaware. So it is 14 points to 7 as we go into halftime. But one more look at this second Purdue try. You see the try scorer, Ross, earlier on, drags across, dishes it out, and then Brunetti just cuts across the grain. Slices the Delaware defense and in for Purdue and extending that lead.
In a sport of power and precision, you need a powerful and precise camera. Analyze your game. Build your team. Grow together.
Ready, up.
Video captures moments. A powerful camera for a powerful sport.
Rugby!
Well, welcome back to the CRC here in Boyd's, Maryland. We've got a really good, tight contest. We haven't had many tight matches today, Abby, and so 14-7, I think it's very nicely poised, don't you?
It's been a great game. I will say the other tight match would be the one you abandoned me for earlier on that I called myself, but, your team won, so we'll accept it, and we are back underway here.
I will be watching it tonight on YouTube to listen to your dulcet tones in solo for sure. Now we have Delaware, who actually, despite being down a score, really had a lot of possession in the first half. They just weren't able to punch it through except for the one time. And again, they're starting to build a couple of phases here.
It looks like they've made a few changes at halftime.
Yeah, good strong carry there. Wow.
Exactly. Finisher coming in, making an impact straight away for Delaware.
And they get a penalty as a result of that. So again, a good few phases. Lack of discipline there by Purdue, but Delaware is definitely working their way back into this game. And then, like you said, it looks like a couple of the finishers that they brought on. I think it's Joshua Pianto came on, and he's starting to carry hard. And there he goes again. He's causing some disruption. Oh, what a beautiful blindside move.
Great result for Delaware. In for their second try, but back off of those hard carries, and that's exactly what they were missing in that first half. They were sort of shuffling side to side, not breaking through the Purdue defensive wall. But then the few carries from Pianto setting them up for success, and then the great blindside spot from Justin McGraw in the headgear. And then he cruises up that right-hand touchline for a score.
Yeah, I love the patriotic headgear too, and he showed some nice heels there. So now we truly have a match. It's 14-14, and aside from the one I missed, this is a very close contest, our first close contest, and we'll see where it ends up. But Delaware definitely must feel the edge a bit right now.
Delaware finding their footing, but speaking of footing, some footy skills underway, but Delaware do so well to recapture.
Oh, it was close to borderline offside there, but the ref didn't give it, so Purdue managed to break out. Looks as though he was into touch. I thought we definitely had a foot into touch there. The flag came up. Sean O'Donnell tried the break, but got bundled into touch a little bit, and the assistant referee called it. I still don't understand that little kick, even though they ended up finally getting possession. They gave possession up to Delaware.
Disappointing there as one of the Purdue players is requesting a sub right here in front. But a boot to ball, and it looks like that left foot just goes over the touchline. AR's in great position to raise that flag. Ball back in Delaware hands.
Yeah, and Sean O'Donnell, who's the one who's got bundled into touch, looks like he's taking a bit of a knock. We did hear him asking for maybe a breather, so maybe he's just trying to take a tactical minute, but it looks as though he's back engaged and ready to go again.
I think he's just searching for his lungs out there on the pitch. Rugby sevens will do that to you, especially after a few breakaways.
Okay, so now we have Delaware back in possession, right on their own 10-meter line, about 5 meters in. So let's see if we're able to gain some ground here and keep the pressure on this Purdue defense. Oh, really nice move there. Loose pass, but actually it came to his hand. So we have another breakout opportunity. Ball back inside. Oh, and they're still retaining possession. We've got a little bit of champagne rugby, Abby.
The bounce of the rugby ball is favoring the Blue Hens right now.
That pass was all affected by the wind. We just got a massive gust for a second, which impacted their ability. Oh, I don't like that call, Abby. I'm not a referee, but I do not like that call. What do you think?
That was a disappointing call from me. He barely let the ball carrier place it. I think the supporting player from Delaware was there in time, and he didn't quite withstand the collision. But again, we're not the ones with the whistle in our hands.
We're not. The reality is, and now we've got a call for a high tackle. It was really a seatbelt tackle. Started chest height and went up a little bit higher, but it's so difficult. You know, obviously the referees have a very difficult job. I can tell you as a coach and player, though, you know, a call like that goes against you and you're burning. Now we have another breakout. Oh, it looks like Purdue, Ethan Ross went in, scampered through a couple of holes, and we've got some tired bodies right now. You can see the hands on their knees trying to recover.
And all off the back of a penalty. It was a turnover on the far side of the pitch, but Ethan Ross just carves up the Delaware defense. Escapes another tackle. He's in for a double.
Yeah, one of the things there, again, we said we thought it was a questionable call, but the reality is if the call goes against you, you've just got to retreat, get 10 meters, set up your defensive shape to be ready for the next one. And Delaware didn't do it, and Ross punished them.
And that's rugby 7th. It's end to end. You think Delaware might score on the opposite side of the pitch, and then Purdue are in for 5, and then they get the full complement of 7. Both teams 100% with their conversions.
See, and then we have another mistake there, the kick not going 10. So with about 40 seconds left, it looks like, Delaware has a chance to try and get a score and tie this one. They're scoring, hopefully they're scoring under the post to make it easier. Let's see if they can score. Nice double switch in midfield, giving it back to Pianto, who again has caused a lot of problems. Good support at the ruck there. Good ball retention again by Delaware. There goes Pianto. Again, nice carry. So he's got 3 defenders in. So they should have some width on the edge now, and they do. And here we go. He's got to circle around to, it's a great score, but he's hit as he scored. Is the ref going to do anything about this?
Unfortunately, because he scores the try, I don't think there will be a call. If anything, he gets pinned, but the game is over. And that's a tough conversion to attempt.
So again, set up by Pianto, good carry, a lot of bodies committed, and then just moving the ball nicely. But again, there's some recognition here. You've got to cut it back. You've got to. It's better not to score and get close to the post than score and make your kicker's life so difficult, especially in this wind. We're just trying to get a view through some bodies of this conversion attempt, which is going to go wildly left, unfortunately for the Blue Hens. So they did boil her up in the end, didn't they?
Well and truly, and they will continue on for the bowl final. And Delaware concede that one, but again, great contest between these two sides.
So waiting to see, again, we've dropped down to the consolation bracket, waiting to see who our next 2 teams are coming in. So give us a second so we can understand who they are and give you the best commentary we can. Okay, so I know to our left we have Loyola Maryland because I saw them earlier. And then who do we have here, Abby, in the white?
I think it might be Fairfield.
Fairfield. Okay, great.
All right. And again, we're in the Men's Premier Cup, but the consolation now. So both of these teams played earlier this morning, lost their first match, and now competing for the bowl.
Yeah, so once again, I certainly haven't seen Fairfield. You might have, because I missed a match, as you keep reminding me. But we both saw Loyola, and they had a tough tough match. They did not represent as well as I know they're capable of. So looking forward to seeing some improvement there. They take the kickoff nicely, and at least they have an opportunity to go on the front foot. I think the weather is becoming a bit more of a factor. The wind's getting stronger. Nice carry, not a lot of room there. He was definitely, that was Brennan Ames. He was definitely their best player this morning. He's their creator. Let's see if he can do it again. I think we're going to have a turn. Oh, not releasing is called this case. Okay, so now we have a penalty here to Loyola. Let's see what they can do with it. Get over halfway and try and cause some problems in the Fairfield end. Where is Fairfield? Do you know, Abby?
I'm going to take a guess and go northeast, given where most of these young men are from.
Oh, look at that move. We do have a breakout here. Is that Tyler Borgi? I'm not sure. I can't quite see the number.
It might be Sean Sullivan, but let's check both of our eyesights.
Yeah.
Comes off the back of that penalty from Fairfield, so the not rolling away. They jackaled over the ball, but deemed illegal. So they went to a set piece move, breaks through, and then that rangy stride.
Absolutely. Almost ostrich-like. I liked it. Very impressive. Great start for Loyola. I mean, they needed this. They needed a bit of a boost, and 7-0 against Fairfield from the northeast somewhere will put them in good standing. And it actually was, I think you were right on the numbers. I think it was Sean Sullivan.
I'm sure you're tired of saying that already today, and we
that
just
you were
met.
right?
Yes.
Yes, well, I learned many years ago that the lady is always right. I get reminded of that every day at home. A little bit of a risky pass there by Fairfield trying to break out. Could have lost some rib.